Battlefield 2042's next update will include a few hundred changes. Blizzard released new Diablo 4 gameplay, a hacker stole over $600 million from a crypto game, and much more on Today in Gaming. Hey guys, LevelCap here. Battlefield 2042's April update will include a few hundred changes according to a community manager. The update is expected to launch early next month. Its headline features include voice chat, a vehicle rebalance, rework of weapon attachments, and scoreboard functionality during the end of round screen. Leaks and rumors suggest significant changes are in the works for 2042 Specialist. Leaker Tom Henderson recently reported that DICE are playtesting changes that tie specialist roles to classes more closely. It's unlikely that these changes will be in the next April update. However, the next public feedback request by DICE will focus on specialists specifically. We may get a blog post or something detailing the upcoming specialist changes after the feedback request wraps up. So chances are that we'll know more in May. DICE is currently working on map and mode overhauls. Those will reorganize objective placements and add more cover to at least one map that we know about. The future updates should also include a new map set in Canada called Exposure. Data mining by Temporeal revealed art for the map that shows objectives placed around a cliff face with an area for base jumping. Temporeal also found a potential new skin for Casper that looks a lot like a Tusken Raider and a crossbow weapon called the Ghostmaker R10. It can apparently be equipped with explosives and EMP bolts. As with all leaks and data mines, treat this stuff as speculation until proven otherwise. But that's where I hand it off to you. The summer update is still months away, but it sounds like it might bring some critical improvements and new content. Do you think 2042 summer update will start to revive the game? Let me know in the comments. In historical FPS news, World War II game Enlisted just got a major update that adds the Battle of Stalingrad. I covered the game back when it first launched, and at the time, many people were pointing to it as an example of what Battlefield 5's content should have offered. And today's update for Enlisted adds a map set during the Battle for Stalingrad with mostly urban combat surrounded by a railway system and a bombed-out landscape. It also adds several new weapons, flamethrower tanks, a new medic class, bomber air raid, remote explosives, and dozens of tweaks. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been playing this game. Your PC's next dedicated GPU might be an Intel product. Intel just took the lid off their next Arc GPU line, and it looks incredibly competitive. Arc 3, 5, and 7. Arc 3 targets mostly embedded solutions like laptops, and according to Intel's marketing, it'll offer 1080p 60fps gaming in most modern titles. Performance data isn't available for Arc 5 or 7, but these will be discrete GPUs packing enough horsepower and features to potentially compete with AMD and Nvidia's latest generation of hardware. One of the big selling points for Intel's Arc line is that all the GPUs across all three tiers offer support for AI-based super sampling, 8K HDR output, multiple sync modes comparable to Nvidia G-Sync, and the world's first AV1 hardware accelerated encoder. And this last bit is a massive leap forward for content creators and video editors. AV1 is a next-gen video codec that offers better compression than current codecs like H.264 while providing superior visual quality. No other GPU on the market has AV1 encoding, giving Intel a potential competitive advantage, at least when it comes to the video editing process. Arc 3 is shipping today in select laptops. Arc 5 and 7 will debut early this summer. Of course, the real test for Intel will be availability. AMD and Nvidia have struggled to meet demand, and their prices have been astronomical for 2 years. If Intel can keep their 5 and 7 series GPUs in stock at reasonable prices, they may take a ton of the market share from Nvidia and AMD. New videos and screenshots of Diablo 4 were released in a large blog post by Blizzard. There's about 6 minutes of new gameplay, and it all looks pretty darn impressive. The environments and characters of Diablo 4 lean more toward photorealism than past titles, and while there's still a very distinct style to the game's visuals, it looks more realistic and cutting edge than Diablo 3. However, the devs are shooting for readability more than just visual quality or realism. The camera will dynamically move parts of the environment, so players will always have a clear picture of the action. Weather and lighting systems have also been implemented to provide more atmosphere to the game. As for the gameplay, the devs have crafted more than 150 dungeons to explore with seamless transitions between floors, randomized layouts, and more. Overall, the game is certainly shaping up nicely. However, Diablo 4 still has no release date. In other Activision Blizzard news, the company settled one of their sexual harassment lawsuits for $18 million. It's important to note that the suit isn't the big one filed by the state of California. This is a smaller lawsuit by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission over violations in anti-discrimination laws. The settlement was agreed on last year, but California's government objected to the ruling because it potentially seals evidence revealing their lawsuit. The court dismissed the objection. The $18 million will fund anti-harassment and discrimination programs at Activision Blizzard, with some going to charity. The EEOC will oversee the programs and how the settlement money is spent. Ultimately, the settlement is a bit more of a slap on the wrist for Activision Blizzard than anything else. Fortnite has a new permanent mode called Zero Build. It's an extension of a recent seasonal event that disabled building in the game's main Battle Royale mode. That event proved to be very popular with players, especially those critical of how excessive building can get during intense combat. Once this event is over, Fortnite's primary Battle Royale mode will likely see building return, with the Zero Build mode offered as an alternative. A hacker stole over $600 million from a blockchain for crypto gaming. If you hate the idea of games selling NFTs, well, this hacker is your Robin Hood. The hacker gained access to the authentication system that validates transactions for the NFT title Axie Infinity. With this access, they were able to steal $594 million worth of Ethereum and $25.5 million of another crypto coin. This is one of the most significant breaches in the history of cryptocurrency, and it's hard to say if this currency will be refunded or replaced in any way. Catching the hacker, of course, will be extremely challenging, since it's easy for the person moving the crypto to remain anonymous as long as they're careful. Call of Duty Vanguard's multiplayer is free to play until April 13th. The content on offer includes new maps from the Season 2 update, a selection of maps from the full game, and a new large map objective mode. This mode pits two teams against each other. It's sort of like Battlefield's Conquest mode, except the objectives are bases that offer defenses against attacks and bonuses for holding them. When the free-to-play period expires, you'll be able to buy the game and retain your progress. The progress should also transfer to Warzone, since both games share progression for weapons and cosmetics. If you're new to the channel and want to help support the content that we make, please consider subscribing. That's the best way to stay up to date with all of our gaming news coverage. It also helps our videos reach more people. Capcom released their final major update for Super Street Fighter V. The definitive update closes out post-launch support for the game as the devs transition to finishing Street Fighter VI. The game was recently revealed with a teaser trailer, and a proper reveal is coming this summer. Street Fighter V had a very rough launch, but Capcom turned things around with several significant updates over the past few years. Today, the game is probably the most popular fighting title in the world, second only to Nintendo's Super Smash Bros. The definitive update patch notes are 79 pages long. It includes dozens of balance changes, technical info, detailed explanations of several changes, and much more. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.